Hello and welcome to another weekend reading vlog with me, Johanna, me, my dog and books. Yesterday was a tough day. Central belt of all of Scotland, Northern Ireland were hit with Storm Owen and it was a bad one. Thankfully, our house, me and David and the pups and my family and most of my friends are all okay, and the only damage we have is to the back fence, which is pretty bad, but I will take that over house or damage to any of us, obviously. But it was a tough day. I kept all the curtains shut, I kept my headphones on listening to my cam app, and I was working from home. All our venues, like I work for part of the council, all our libraries, all our museums, all our sports venues, everything was cancelled, so you can imagine working with that. And then this morning we're checking in on, I'm keeping an eye on some work stuff because I don't know what venues are open and what damage there is, so we're getting updates. But it was a very tough day. I was from like about morning until, didn't really calm down until 7 p.m. and even then so winds were about 90 to 100 miles an hour. So like basically we were told do not travel, do not leave your house. There's a lot of damage across Scotland. I was looking at it on the news this morning. And then I managed to take the dogs out. I only let the dogs out on a lead to do the toilet because it was so bad. And then last night I took them out about 8. It was still really windy, but it was only about 50 miles an hour. And there was nothing flying around, so I managed to take them round the block. And then we sat last night and caught up with the last 3 episodes of the Traitors. So that distracted me, but wow. I don't want to see a storm like that for a long time. But wait, you see my face. It's my project plan, my garden project for 2025 may have to change and cost me a lot more money, because not only is that going to be, because it's a big fence, right, we've always had concerns about that fence, right, but our garden then slopes down into the next, and I think we're going to have to get so that'll just, like, we need to see, like, just replacing that fence isn't good enough. And actually I don't want to replace it with a fence that big. We've never wanted it that big, especially after we've taken the decking away, which was rotten, because it's so susceptible to storm winds. And we're going to have to get like a restraining wall, because it just straight away goes down, and all that there is soil. Like, that's just soil. So that will just, so at the moment I can let Patty out because she'll come back to me if I shout. Lucy's deaf and doesn't listen anyway, so taking them out in the lead, they'll end up in that neighbour's garden and next to a half fallen. So we're going to have to somehow secure that. But we're going to have to figure out how to pay for that. Anyway, that's not what today's vlog's going to be. I've only got one thing to do, which is going out the house to get fitted for my varifocals for my eyes, to test them. And then I'm staying in, I'm getting cosy, I'm doing cosy hobbies, I'm reading, I might bake something, and that is going to be our weekend, because yesterday was too anxiety inducing and we need a chill day, a chill weekend with you. So buckle in for a cosy one. So this is how I obviously plan and start in the morning after yesterday. To be fair, this is how I start most weekend mornings. Morning, Patty. Morning, Patty. And then Lucy's just snoozeville. Hey, Lucy. And I'm reading an arc, although it's already out now, from NetGalley for Alice Feeney's Beautiful Ugly. And I'm quite enjoying it so far. I'm 19% in, so I'll tell you about it later. So I've been to the Opticians. These are one of 2 pairs of varifocals. They're like, probably can't see them because I've had to put the light on, because we currently have snow. I don't know if you can see that. It's currently snowing, so it's went quite dull.
So these are blue. I appreciate they're not as wildly coloured as my normal glasses, but I really like the shape of them, and they're like a, can you see? I wonder if I go up here. They're like a navy blue, but I've got a pair that are slightly bigger in pink, but at first I need to try and get used to the vary bit. So my distance sight is great, but I feel like I'm doing this to read, which means I'm not working it very well, and logistically in my head I can't figure out what that means. Do I need to do more like that when I'm reading? Oh, I don't know, it's going to take me a wee while. But I've got a blankie. Lucy's sleeping. Patty is sunken into that beanbag. I've got leftover coffee. I think I'm just exhausted from all the stress of like Storm Owen yesterday. But I've got BookTube on. I'm watching Peru's project. She's got a cozy reading vlog, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to read more of How to Age Disgracefully and maybe bake a cake. Can't actually decide. Might just have a nap. I feel like it's just one of those days, like, I don't know when that snow's going to stop. There's apparently sunshine coming at 3. I will need to take the pups back out again. Got the fire on, so maybe need to turn it down. And we need to go and see the neighbour at the back, where the fence is falling in, mostly. And start that conversation. I might need to sell an organ to pay for it, but like I keep saying, I'm very grateful it was just the fence. No matter how much it's going to cost us eventually to get that all sorted, it is what it is. Garden project that I talked about in my Meet the Booktuber Q&A will change. I just don't want to see another storm like that for a long time. I did not like that. And you know, like across the country there's been trees down, buildings destroyed, there's people died, you know, so I count myself very lucky. It's just very tiring, because all of yesterday I just spent it managing my anxiety, which was through the roof. But because of that, and we were preparing for it, and I was a red alert, you know, not to leave the house, I had pretty much filled the bath with cold water. I'd got a grab bag. I'd filled loads of flasks with water just in case we lost. Had charged everything, got candles ready in case I needed it. Got my wind up radio out. And so I've got colleagues that have lost power yesterday and still don't have it back yet, so I am very lucky. So that kind of apocalyptic preparedness distracted me on the Thursday night before the storm hit. So anyway, I don't know why I told you that, other than I might have a nap. I think it's time for a nap and then I can do stuff. Or maybe before a nap I shall top up. Look at that snow. I mean, it's not even that heavy, it's not sitting. Look at my bare fence. Oh, poor neighbour. I don't think that's going to... Yeah. All of yesterday I kept the windows shut, curtains shut, so I didn't actually look at it. Which actually really helped with my anxiety. Also not watching the news every 5 seconds. I wonder if I can finish that off. Oh my god. Oh, got it. There's a wee spill. I'll just switch that off. So, I'm gonna have this. It is decaf because caffeine and my anxiety are not a good thing. Look at this little bubba. Little bubba. Fire's on. I should maybe push that a bit. That's how I push it in with my feet. Lucy couldn't look any cozier. The OH is, oh, I've only actually just had my breakfast and that's like midday. It never happens. I'll put that in there. I'll do a wash. I need to put that away. Oh, there's so many things I keep thinking I need to do, but I just want to lie down and maybe grab my book. after I've watched a wee bit of this, I don't know what she's doing. Oh, she had a candle. And I'll do a wee bit of reading. Still enjoying it. I'm not picking it up as often as I thought I would, but anyway, let's get cozy and watch the rest of this vlog and have a nap.
It smells like lavender, so we're going to trim it and light it and watch Traitors.
Bop, bop. Well, David's doing a stellar job trying to pick up all the broken bits of fence that fell back, but the bit that's like leaning right back, we can't do anything about right now. We kind of need to dismantle it. So he's been down, it's an elderly, I'll say elderly, it's not old, but an older woman. I think she lives on her own, so David's been down to kind of help clear all that. These two are surveying. He's trying to secure it so that they two don't go down there. I suspect I shall have to keep my eyes on them when they're out there, because I don't think they'll be trusted and it'll be pretty shoddy if they go down that way. Anyway, I'm absolutely exhausted. I literally had a nap and that was it. And been round to speak to the neighbour so we can try and work out what we're going to do. Anyway, David's doing such a stellar job. It's a pain in the to sort any of that stuff, but he's done a good job right now. Try to fence it off the dogs just as an interim. And so I'm going to make him a lemon drizzle cake as a reward. One for me too. Because I found this one. Look at that. Oh, I'm getting random notifications. Oh, stop it. Oh, shush. Shush. Oh, shush. Look. That looks good, doesn't it? I'm going to give that a bash. See how that goes. Been a wee while since I've baked, isn't it? So the bake batter is ready to go into the oven. Well, it says 50 to 60 minutes. We'll do 55. We do it in between, kids. They've been circling me like a shark because I've been baking this. Next, I will make the lemon drizzle. Anyway, the lighting's not amazing right now, but coming in here because the washing machine's on, got the cake baking. I want to give you a reading update. So, this was one of my pre-orders that arrived last week. I'm sure I forgot to show you in my reading vlog because I had a stack of books to show you to unpack, and I think I forgot. Anyway, this was a special edition one of Grady Hendrix Look at the Spreadsheets. And I'm a massive Grady Hendrix fan. And it's signed. So I've started reading this about, well, I'm actually doing a bit on audio, to be honest. Grady Hendrix is an autobi author for me. He's a good writer of sort of humorous horror or satirical horror, and often his books have a good social justice sort of societal commentary message. So I've heard mixed reviews of this one at the moment. Some of my besties have DNF'd it, some of them gave them 4 or 4.5 stars. So far, I am really enjoying it. Now, it's set in the 70s? Sorry, I'm still getting used to these varifocals. Yeah, it's set in the 70s. And we follow 15-year-old Fern, who finds herself pregnant. And she's taken by her dad and her mum to this place for wayward girls. So as they have done and still continue to do and did in many places, is when young girls found themselves pregnant, they packed them off to like convents and other such places got the kids to work while pregnant, doing labour, and then would settle off their babies, and then the kids would then return to their families without their child. So abhorrent behaviour and systems that were in play. But this focuses in one place for, they call it Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. Now, a few people have said it's not witchy enough. Now, it does take to about 25 to 30% in before you start to get any of the witchy vibes. Now, obviously, witchery and witches very much are reflective of the opinions of women over the centuries. And there is a kind of like a mobile library that comes to the place. Where is it that they're being sent? I can't see it quickly, but I'm also really adjusting to my varifocals, so I'm trying not to lift my glasses up. Anyway, there's a whole group of girls, and this mobile library comes along with, what is the name of? Zinnia. No, that's another character. Ignore that. Wellwood House is where it is. Are sent to Wellwood House in St. Augustine in Florida, where unwed mothers are hidden by their families to give birth in secret. Yada yada. So yeah, that is the stuff that's happening. But there's a mobile library that comes along, and I can't remember the name of the woman that runs it. But she's like, take this book, and they're like, do you have any books about like what even happens when you're pregnant and how you give birth? And she was like, I'm not able to give you this, but here, take this book. And she's like, I've read that one. And she's like, no, it's kind of like wink wink, there's other stuff in here. And that's where they start to open up the world of witchcraft, and there's almost this kind of secret world that they're all entering into in the evening, and that's where the kind of witchcraft stuff comes in. So to me it feels pretty witchy. I'm really enjoying it. Grady Hendrix, if I didn't know the author of this book, I would have assumed it was a woman that was writing these female characters, because it was so well written. The young women, the characters and everything they're going through the feel, you know, like being pregnant, being young, wondering what the heck's happening to them, what's happening to their body, it's so well written. And I actually feel really emotional about the kids in here. So they'll have not the real names. So I think Fern, there's another girl called Rose, and Zinnia, and Holly. So they're all like about 14, 15. I mean, the stuff that's happening to them in this effectively home is horrible. And it says, every moment of their waking day is strictly controlled by adults who claim to know what's best for them, until Fern meets a librarian who gives her an occult book about witchcraft. And suddenly power is in the hands of the girls for the first time in their lives. The power can destroy as easily as it creates. It is never given freely. There's always a price to be paid, and it's usually paid in blood. So far, I'm really enjoying this. So I'm hoping it'll finish it during this vlog, so I'll keep you posted. Anyway, I better go and check in on the cake. Don't open the oven. I need to stop looking over these, because if I look over these I can't see them. I'm feeling a bit dizzy again. I don't know if it's me trying to get, because not only am I trying varifocals, but my prescription changed as well, so I had to get stronger distance, and then there's the reading. I've got a couple of months to test them, and then they can change them back if I don't. And I've also got like another pair that's getting made, kind of similar, except a wee bit, they are circular, round frames, but they're pink. These are the only ones I could get in these shape. Technically they were in the men's bit, but as far as I'm aware, glasses don't have gender, so I went for them. Anywho's, after the other half's manual labour, he's in the bath because his back's killing him. He's got really bad back pain, and so that wasn't ideal for him. So I think we're going to treat ourselves to Wagamama's, and he's going to get some beers for the guy next door that helped him with some of that stuff, because I couldn't be helping him with that jaggy rotten wood. I mean, I could have tried, but I probably would have keeled over. Anywho's, that's current read alongside this as well. I didn't read any more of this yet because I fell asleep. So I'm going to listen to more Grady Hendrix while I do some chores, and I'll check in with you later. Woo! Very tired. Well, we in the OH, the other half, went for an impromptu Wagamamas because after yesterday and today we couldn't be bothered cooking, even though I had leftovers. And look, Patty is there. Hi, Patty. Eyebrows moved. Lucy's here and we're getting ready to watch a movie. I've got a nice cup of rooibos tea, and we're going to watch something called Hundreds of Beavers. Hold on, I'll show you. So this is what we're watching. Hundreds of Beavers. It just came out last year. How is it described, David? It looks like a weird Monty Python animation with live action. Anyway, this is what we're going to watch. It's early Sunday morning and I'm already on my second cup of this decaf coffee. And what did we do? Oh, last night we started watching a film called 100 Beavers, I think. It was weird, wacky, kind of gave me black and white Monty Python vibes, but we ended up falling asleep. So I am having some coffee and going up to bed, and I'm reading Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. I like to put this on down here so I can hear the winter vibes. It's still dark outside. Still dark out there. Oh, it's hot. And I'm going to read a bit more about Alice Feeney's Beautiful Ugly, which I'm really enjoying. I'll tell you more about it later. So book update. 37% in to Beautiful Ugly. Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. I'm really enjoying it. It's a really good thriller. So we're following a main character called Grady. He's a writer. So the story starts off where he's anxiously awaiting a call from his publisher about being in the New York bestsellers list, and he's waiting on his wife, Abby, to come through to kind of celebrate that moment. And so she's a bit late, yada yada. He gets the New York bestseller prize, and then next we're seeing the fact that Abby disappears. They find her car. I think she goes missing. It looks like, I can't remember where they find her car. Anyway, she's missing. He's distraught. We're a year later, still missing. We're at this point possibly, or others are presuming dead. But so the kind of book is still kind of like a bit of a cold case now. He still has lost the ability to write. As you can imagine, his mind's all over the place, and his publisher Kitty goes, look, I was given this remote cabin in the north of Scotland somewhere, Amberley, which is a made up place I think, because I googled it. I was like, I don't think there's a place in England called Amberley. Anyway, so he goes with his dog who's called Columbo, quite like that name, and he goes to the cabin and he starts to write, and there's only like 25 permanent residents on this. You've got the person that runs the ferry called Sandy, who's also the sheriff, and a few other people that you're starting to meet. He also finds something in the cabin under the floorboards, and then you're introduced to a second point of view. And already there's kind of new
bits of information coming in. He keeps thinking he's also seen his wife on the island, which is turning out not to be the case, because obviously he's still so obsessed with the loss of his wife and not having any sort of ending to that. It is so good. I'm hoping that I can get maybe at least half to 3/4 through before I finish this weekend reading vlog, so I can tell you about it, but I am loving it. So I'm going to top up my coffee. I've got a wee pot of my porridge on. I love ham porridge. I've got some defrosted frozen berries in the fridge, so I'll have some berries, my porridge, a bit of flaxseed, maple syrup, with a big mug of coffee and reading more of this. So after a couple of days of not doing any workouts, I normally try and do something every day, obviously walking dogs included, but it would either like be yoga or a run. Weather's atrocious, it's so icy out there, so I'm not doing that. So I'm doing an at-home free workout. I use the Night Training Club app to get free workouts. It's brilliant. I do it at home because I can't be arsed with the gym. And I could just scrap anything on anyway, it's cheaper. Also, one of the things during the winter that forces me to kind of try and stay relatively fit is our snowboarding holiday. You kind of still need a level of fitness for that. Otherwise you'll be gubbed after day one. I'll be gubbed anyway, but after I think all the storm and stuff, and I should have done some yoga or something, but I didn't. So going to do a quick workout, then hoover. The house really needs hoovered. Just got my windows cleaned like the day before storm went in, and now they're absolutely bogging. So thanks window cleaner for coming right before the storm. Anyway, it's what it is. So I'm going to do this, suck it up, get it done, not think about it, do some chores, then get on to some cosy hobbies. I have to work out, I'm feeling good. I've hoovered everywhere. Sleepy, patty. I've got a wash on, I've changed the beds. I'm feeling like progress is made. Like, after being on the cusp of a panic attack for most of Friday because of that storm, like, no joke. Yesterday was a bit of a wipeout because I felt like my body and my mind felt hungover from just being on high alert the whole time. But today normality has resumed. I'm going to make butter bean and sun-dried tomato soup. I don't have any sun-dried tomatoes, so I'm just gonna make it up. Make soup. I'll have soup and a sandwich. My cake. I'll never showed you my cake. Hold on. Look here. Look at it. So I didn't put icing on it because I've got a lemon caster sugar drizzle on it. It's very moist in a good way. I hate that word, but you know what I mean. And it gets a mega thumbs up from the OH who says amazing. So that's the cake. It's going to get between now and Tuesday. And this is the recipe I'm making. It says 20 minutes. This is my soup book that I've had. I mean, it's not vegan or anything like that. It's a whole range of different soups. I got it years ago. Still use it. But I have lots of tomatoes, and some of them, when they came, which isn't ideal, they're a bit past their best, so I'm going to try and use them and make a soup, maybe a sandwich. Washing is on, and I'm still listening to Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I'm really enjoying it. It's getting pretty creepy now. It's getting pretty creepy. So I'm going to make the soup, then walk the dogs while it's cooking. It's icy as out there, man. I can't break a bone before I go snowboarding. That will not be allowed. Still adjusting to the reading, distance reading. And sometimes I'm like, okay, that's really good. And I'm like, so when I'm reading, I'm like, oh no, that's better. And I'm like, so what? Can't figure out what way my head should go. First world problems, eh? Anyway, getting on with the soup. And I'll check in with you later.
Anyway, the OH is playing FIFA. Oh no, he's not, he's playing golf. What are you playing? Oh, he's playing golf on his PlayStation. So I was just picking a book from my TBR box for my February Hopefuls TBR, which I was just recording there, which will go up after this video. I had to think about logistics. Anyway, I have made a lovely tomato soup, had a lovely soup. Have been reading a lot on audio of Witchcraft for Wayward girls, and I'm really enjoying it. There's been a few brutal scenes where I've been like, that I can't even, don't want to say. Let's just say, if you're in a, I don't want to say and then I'm going to tell you, if you're in a home for young girls who are with child and are there until they have child and then they get rid of the kids to other families, let's just say there's some very graphic birth scenes. Oh, I was listening to some of that in the car when I popped to Aldi, and I was like, so that was interesting. Now I'm going to sit down and have a cup of tea and read more of Beautiful Ugly. I am 40% in. There we go. So I'm going to get myself a blanket. Wait, you see the pops. Let's see. It's currently sitting there. And Patty is over here. They're so cozy. So cozy. Aww. Anyway, I am now going to, although I need to get past, I was about to go past the TV, but I'm about to stand on the gaming controller, and that's never a good thing. So, oh, did I show you my finished soup? Hold on, I'll put the light on. In the kitchen, look at the fence out there. It's a riot. We can literally see our neighbours. Anyway, that's going to be for the foreseeable. Here is my lovely soup. It's delicious. It's not sun-dried soup whatsoever. Here, I'll properly show you the garden fauna. That there is the official tree damage, fence damage, I mean. Look, it's literally leaning. So we need a professional out to see how much of the fence, if any, we can keep. And that, let's zoom in, can I zoom in? Is the piece of work David's done. So this is pretty stable, weirdly, the bit that's hanging. Look, how can I, there's my big finger. That bit there is still relatively stable, even though it's hanging. And David's put all the bamboo that was all this work I did. Anyway, he's put that there so the kids don't get through. And who knows what's going to happen to this fence. I'm hoping we can keep some of it. Otherwise, it's going to cost us an absolute fortune, which we don't have. And this actually, this one here, like that one, that bit there, goes into another garden. So that's two conversations. I mean, to be fair, the neighbour across here, because we share this fence, we're going to split the cost, but sad times, sad times. But I just keep telling myself it was a fence. Might cost us an absolute fortune, but it wasn't my roof. It wasn't the house, it wasn't us. That's my mantra. Anyway, I'm going to get myself a slice of my lovely lemon drizzle cake and have a cup of tea and read my book. The kids are waiting for their kongs because they get their kongs when we have our dinner, and this is tonight's dinner. It is sweet potato red Thai curry with noodles. It's kind of like ramen. Not made this one before, it was from the green roasting tin. So we've got bowls, some garlic bread. You want to tuck in? Good morning, it's early Monday morning. For those who've maybe not watched any of my vlogs before, I don't work Mondays. I work full time over 4 days, so I work longer days Tuesday to Friday. So Monday's still my weekend. Yay! So I'm about to top up my coffee, and I'm
got maybe a third left of how to How to Age Disgracefully by Clare Pooley. I'm actually really enjoying this. It feels a wee bit longer than it needs to be, a little bit, but I'm liking spending time with the characters. They're fun. They all have their own unique personalities, and there's a good group of kind of senior citizens that are just fun to read. So I'm going to go to bed, read some of that, top up my coffee, and I'll check in later.
Monday. I think I've already told you that, haven't I? I've done a workout, walked the dogs, finished this book. Oh.
I'll maybe move the light here. How to Age Disgracefully by Clare Pooley. I have to say, I fair enjoyed it. It was funny, light-hearted. Probably shouldn't talk while I'm having my toast. 2 seconds. Finished, and I'm having green tea, and look, starting a puzzle. This one, to be exact. Giving me Central Park winter vibes. Well, actually it's Bow Bridge in Central Park. It's only a 500 one. So I thought I'd start that and finish Witchcraft for Wayward Girls on audio. So I'm going to do that. But first I'll tell you about this one. How to Age Disgracefully by Clare Pooley. I'm not going to lie, I think it's the kind of book I needed right now. It's light-hearted. It's got poignant moments, but it's, you know, it's got humour, a whole group of senior citizens, and senior citizens as the main characters, as well as a woman in her 50s, Lydia, who's just taken up running the senior citizen club in this community centre. The community centre roof collapses at the start of the story, and all of a sudden it's like a saver community centre, and you're introduced to a whole range of characters. There is, have we got them listed here? There's Art, Daphne, Anna. I'm trying to remember who else. I'm looking because they all have different POVs. Daphne is the main. Art, Ziggy. He's not one of the senior citizens. He's a young boy who's actually a young dad, but he's still at school. Anyway, they club together. This is like Daphne joins this senior citizens group after she realises she's turning 70 and she's pretty lonely in her house and doesn't really have any friends. And they all club together for the to save the community centre, because it also impacts the nursery where Ziggy's wee baby goes to, and a few other classes as well. And so there's loads of shenanigans. I love senior citizen, older MC rep generally, because I think we need to read more positive stories about people 50 plus. I'm not saying that senior citizen, by the way. I probably, I don't know, 80 plus is maybe senior citizen, I don't know. Guaranteed, whatever it is, you don't feel old. And so there was a nice acknowledgements at the end where the author, what you may call it, Clare Pooley talks about wanting to write a story with better rep of people 50 plus, and I think this does a great job. And also how it's not about like how they are so detached from the world, but actually they can teach Gen Z and the generations below them so many things about life. It was fun, I enjoyed it, and see if you're looking for something that's light-hearted, humorous, will make you smile, and it's also poignant at the same time, check it out. So I'm going to finish Witchcraft for Wayward Girls whilst sorting out my edges and having a cup of tea. Well, that's the end of another weekend reading vlog. I started my jigsaws and I finished this book this morning, as you know, because I told you about that earlier, and I finished this while working on my jigsaw. So yes, I did splurge and pre-order the special edition
from Waterstones, which is signed by Grady Hendrix. That's because Grady Hendrix is an auto buy for me, and I will read every one of his books he writes because I really enjoy them. And so where do I think on this one? So I was originally a 3.5 out of 5, but I think I'm closer to 3.75. Not quite a 4, and I think for that is to do with it was very long. And I'll probably mention this, it's just shy of 500 pages, and I'll probably mention this in my wrap up, but unless you're reading fantasy books that are set in a whole other world and you have the whole world building and all the characters, I don't think there's a need for a book to be more than about 350, 400 pages generally. Now, Grady Hendrix is known as kind of horror satire. I would say this is lighter on the horror, albeit I would say the horror is more about the topic itself, rather than stereotypical sort of scary horror book. So it's probably quite accessible in that way. Depends if you're okay with the topic. So the topic is you follow a group of girls with the main character Fern, but she joins in a whole other group of girls in the Wayward house in St. Augustine in Florida, where unwed mothers, normally young girls, they're all about 14, 15, are sent by their families to give birth to the babies that they found themselves pregnant with. They'll be adopted and kids can return home and pretend that all never happened. Horrific, yeah. It's like the laundry, what did they call them? Laundry somethings in Ireland, and convents where they sent kids to basically get rid of their baby, sell them in some instances. And so that's the situation. So you have this group of girls, and then one day Fern, who's the story you start off with, meets the librarian in the mobile library that comes every 2 weeks, who gives her a book, an occult book on witchcraft, and all of a sudden these young girls have power that they've never had before in their hands, which can lead to a lot of dark stuff happening, and also retributions for not abiding by the librarian's ask. So a lot of dark stuff starts to happen, and what starts out like fun revenge kind of takes a turn. And what I would say is Grady Hendrix's ability to write these girls and women in this book is pretty astounding. Like, I didn't feel it was stereotypical. I felt it was really natural. Like, I felt he was really in touch with his feminine side and either did loads of research or was a woman in previous life, because he captured the feelings, the thoughts, the anxiety of what it must be like to be pregnant at that age and being sent away from your family to give birth and have that child removed from you, whilst also not knowing what to expect from pregnancy or childbirth at all. That in itself is the horror in this story, and the witchcraft comes, I mean, it doesn't get witchy till about 30% in. So, because I have seen comments of people saying, it's not really witchy. Well, it does get it, you know, and then it is witchy for kind of the rest of the book. But anyway, so I did find it long, and at some times I was like, I felt a bit disengaged, and I think that might be a little bit to the length of it. So on that basis, it's not quite a 4-star, but I would say definitely 3.75. A great story, a great topic that I'm very interested in. And Grady Hendrix, I just love his writing. And he portrays women amazingly in this book. So hats off. Hats off to him. So that was the books. And then obviously I've not finished Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney yet, but I am halfway through and really enjoying it, so hopefully I can give you an update on that in my next reading vlog, on where that's at. And then I'll have started 2 new books at least, and taking you on in that, and you might see me in the French Alps, who knows, I'll let you know. Anyway, it's a horrible rainy day, but there is no wind. I'm always grateful when there's no wind. we'll give you an update soon on the garden plans. We're going to get someone out on Friday. One of our friends is a landscape gardener, but this is not going to be a cheap or quick job. So garden project for 2025 has changed significantly since I answered your Meet the Booktuber questions merely a video or so ago. Link it in the description for you if you haven't seen that one yet. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed spending the weekend with me. A bit of cooking, a bit of baking, a bit of the pups, but mostly at home and cosy, because Storm Owen caused me so much anxiety that, you know, I couldn't really go out and about too much, to be honest. But hopefully you've enjoyed spending it with me, and I will see you in another weekend reading vlog very soon. And hopefully after this one, I will be chatting to you about my February hopefuls. Yay! Anyway, for now and until next time, I wish you all some happy reading and cozy times. And if you've watched this far and don't know what to say but would like to say something, give me a love heart emoji. And then I'll see you in another Bookish video very soon. Thank you for all your likes and comments. And if you don't already, please do subscribe. And I will catch you up in your comments. Let's have a chat. Keep the conversation going. And I'll see you again soon. Bye!